April 5, 1968. The night after Martin Luther King was assassinated, America was on fire. Boston was about to explode. Then one man stepped on stage and saved an entire city with nothing but his voice and his soul. April 4, 1968, 6:01 p.m. James Brown was watching the crowd outside the Lorraine Motel in Memphis on television. A minute ago, the world had changed. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had been killed by a sniper's bullet. James's hands were shaking. He dropped the remote control. On the screen, police sirens, crying people, angry crowds. And then, the reporter's cold voice, "Dr. King is dead. Nobody knows what America will do." James knew. America would burn. The phone rang. James's manager, Charles Bobbitt's voice was panicked. "James, did you turn on the TV?" "It's on, Charlie. I'm watching. We need to cancel tomorrow night's Boston concert. The city's going to go crazy. It's not safe." James stood up and looked out the window. Outside, the streets of New York were already getting restless. People were running. Some were crying. Some were shouting. "No, Charlie," James said, his voice low but determined. "We're not canceling the concert. On the contrary. This concert is more important than ever." "James, are you crazy? Cities are burning. Riots started in Washington, D.C. Baltimore, Chicago, Detroit. Everywhere is exploding. Boston will be a war zone tomorrow night." "I know," James said. "And that's exactly why I'm going on stage." April 5, 1968, 2 p.m. Boston Logan Airport. When James Brown's plane landed on the runway, he could see the city's condition from the terminal window. Columns of smoke were rising into the sky. Police sirens could be heard in the distance. The airport was nearly empty. Everyone was hiding at home. When the limousine picked James up, the driver was tense and silent. "Mr. Brown," the driver said from the rearview mirror. "I have some advice for you. After tonight's concert, go straight back to the airport. Don't stay in the city. The Roxbury neighborhood is especially dangerous." Roxbury. The neighborhood where Boston's black population lived. Where James's most loyal fans were. And right now, the center of rage. As the limousine entered the city, James looked out the window. Broken glass. Burning cars. Buildings with "Avenge MLK" spray-painted on their walls. Groups of young men walking around, anger and pain on their faces. As they approached Boston Garden Arena, the situation got even worse. Hundreds of people had gathered around the arena. But these weren't fans coming for a concert. These were angry protesters, armed with rocks and sticks, shouting and attacking police barricades. "Mr. Brown," the driver spoke again, this time his voice trembling. "Are you sure? This isn't safe." "I'm sure," James said. "I'm going on stage." Backstage, Boston Mayor Kevin White was waiting for James. With him were Police Chief Edmund McNamara and James's manager, Charlie Bobbitt. All three were sweating. All three were scared. "Mr. Brown," Mayor White said, his voice serious. "I need to tell you the truth. This concert could lead to disaster." James crossed his arms. "Explain." "There are an estimated 5,000 people outside right now. Most are angry, most seeking revenge for Dr. King's death. If you perform tonight and something goes wrong, this arena turns into a fire pit." Police Chief McNamara interrupted. "Mr. Brown, there will be 15,000 people in the arena. Tens of thousands more outside. If a fight breaks out inside, we can't control it. People will die. The city will burn." James slowly nodded. "I understand. Now let me tell you something." Everyone in the room turned to James. "If I cancel this concert tonight, your city will burn anyway. Because those people outside want to direct their anger somewhere. If we don't give them a place, they'll burn the streets. But if I give them this arena, if I give them the music, if I give them me, maybe I can save them. Mayor White hesitated. What if you fail? James looked him in the eye. If I fail, I'll burn with you. But my chance of success is higher than canceling the concert. The room went silent. Then, something unexpected happened. Mayor White extended his hand to James. Okay. But on one condition. What is it? We're going to broadcast this concert on television. Live. So the people in the streets can watch it too. They'll stay home, watch your concert instead of rioting. James paused. A live television broadcast? This had never been done before. But it was also a brilliant idea. Deal, James said. But know this. When I take that stage tonight, I'm not just going to sing. I'm going to lead them. 8 p.m. The doors of Boston Garden Arena opened. 15,000 people poured in. But this wasn't a normal concert crowd. Everyone was tense, angry, fragile. Some young people were carrying signs that read, "They killed MLK, we'll kill too." Some were shouting. Some were crying. Police surrounded the arena. But the officers were scared too. If this crowd got out of control, no force could stop it. Backstage, James sat quietly. His head bowed, hands clasped. He was praying. Bobby Bird came up beside James. James, are you ready? James raised his head. There was determination in his eyes. Bobby, tonight we're going to give the most important performance of our lives. This isn't just a concert. This is a war. And we're going to win. Bobby swallowed. What if we lose? We don't have the right to lose. When James Brown walked on stage, the arena exploded. 15,000 people jumped to their feet, shouted, applauded. But this wasn't joy. This was an angry scream. This was full of pain. James grabbed the microphone. He started, "Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud." The crowd joined him, raising their fists and shouting. But James could feel that the crowd's energy wasn't just celebration. This was anger, grief, and a desire for revenge. In the middle of the second song, something happened. Some young people at the front of the stage started jumping the barricades. They tried to climb on stage. Police tried to push them back. The crowd got even angrier. The shouting increased. "Get the cops out. We're coming on stage. This is our night." The situation was rapidly spiraling out of control. Police pulled out their batons. Young people started throwing rocks. The arena was about to turn into a battlefield. And then James Brown did something nobody expected. James stopped the music. The orchestra fell silent. 15,000 people suddenly went quiet. Everyone turned to James. James walked to the front of the stage. He looked at the police and the young people. "Stop," James said, his voice calm but sharp. "Everybody stop." The police stepped back. The young people stopped climbing on stage. James took the microphone and looked at the young people. "I understand you," James said. "You're angry. You're hurting. We lost Dr. King. And you want revenge." The crowd listened silently. "But," James continued, his voice starting to rise, "if you turn this arena into a battlefield tonight, if you attack these police officers, if you burn this city, you will have killed Dr. King's dream." Some young people shouted. "They're attacking us." James raised his hand. "I know. But listen to me now." James came to the very front of the stage, almost over the barricades. "I'm black," James said. "Just like you. And I've seen the same hate all my life. But you know what I learned? The arena held its breath waiting. Power is not violence. Power is dignity. Dr. King taught us that. And if we forget that lesson tonight, his death will be in vain. Some young people started crying. James continued. Now I'm going to tell you something. If you try to get on this stage, if you attack these police officers, I'm coming down there. And I will stop you. Because you are my brothers. And I won't let my brother destroy himself. James leaned toward the young people. Now step back. Sit down. And let me give you a night worthy of Dr. King's memory. Silence. Then, slowly, the young people stepped back. They got down from the barricades. They returned to their seats. Police Chief McNamara, backstage, was watching with tears in his eyes. My God, he whispered. He did it. But James wasn't finished yet. James turned to his orchestra. Boys, let's play something slow. Another song was expected. But James did something unexpected. He started talking. Tonight, James said, his voice broken, America lost a great man. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a man of peace, a man of love. And they killed him. The crowd cried silently. But you know, James continued, Dr. King didn't die. Because his idea, his dream, is still here. In us. In you. In me. James looked up at the sky. Dr. King, if you can hear us. Today here in Boston, your black brothers and sisters make you a promise. We will keep your dream alive. Not with violence. Not with hate. With love. With dignity. 15,000 people stood up. No one applauded. They just stood silently. In respect. James bowed his head. And then, crying, he began to sing one of his most emotional songs. It's a man's world. But this time, the lyrics carried a different meaning. This wasn't just a song. This was a lament. For Dr. King. For America. For loss. As the concert neared its end, James approached the microphone one last time. Boston, James said, tonight you made a choice. You rejected violence. You rejected hate. And you chose dignity. The crowd applauded, but this time it was different. This was a peaceful applause. Now when you leave here, James continued, go home. Hug your families. And tomorrow, wake up to live Dr. King's dream. James paused. Boston, you did something great tonight. You saved yourselves. That night, Boston didn't burn. Thanks to the television broadcast, tens of thousands of people in the streets stayed home and watched the concert. In Roxbury, in Dorchester, in Mattapan. In the black neighborhoods, there were no riots. The next morning, Boston newspapers ran this headline. James Brown saved Boston. Mayor Kevin White spoke at a press conference, crying. James Brown saved the city last night. Just with his voice, just with his words. This man is a hero. But Washington, D.C. burned. Baltimore burned. Chicago burned. Detroit burned. Dozens of cities were shaken by riots in the days following Dr. King's death. Thousands of buildings burned. Dozens of people died. But Boston survived. Because of James Brown. Days later, in an interview, they asked James Brown, how did you do it that night? How did you stop them? James smiled, but a tired smile. I didn't stop them, he said. I just reminded them. That they were powerful. That they were dignified. And that they carried the dream Dr. King entrusted to them. But weren't you scared? The reporter asked. James paused. I was afraid of dying, he said honestly. But more than that, I was afraid of them destroying themselves. Because anger is easy. Revenge is easy. But dignity, love, peace. Those require courage. James looked out the window. That night in Boston, those people chose their courage. And they showed the world that the black community is not just powerful, but noble. The 1968 Boston concert became a turning point in American history. Years later, historians described this night as one of the most important concerts of the modern era. Martin Luther King Jr. S. family sent James Brown a thank you letter. The letter read, Dr. King defended peace in the face of violence. You, in Boston, lived his legacy. On behalf of our family, thank you. Mayor Kevin White remained friends with James Brown for the rest of his life. Every year, on the anniversary of Dr. King's death, he would invite James to Boston. And James would come every time. When James Brown died in 2006, the city of Boston erected a monument in his honor. The monument reads, James Brown saved a city with just his music on April 5, 1968. Real power lies not in weapons, but in the soul. If this story of leadership, courage, and the power of music moved you, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Share this video with someone who needs to remember that hope is stronger than hate. Let us know in the comments, do you think music can change society?